fields were mine. We played hide and seek for hours, raised our shadows among the pines.
For those who don't know us, this is me, Scott. This is my wife, Katie, and this is our son, Super Ted. We are the Bridge family, trying to get the most out of this rat race we all call life. On the 24th of February 2023, our whole world got turned upside down when we got told our 9-month-old son had been diagnosed with high-risk Aml Leukaemia. For anyone that doesn't know what that stands for, it's acute myeloid leukemia, which is a type of blood cancer. Yes, I said it. Cancer. As you can imagine, life froze. Every parent's worst nightmare was happening right in front of our eyes. With childhood cancer happening more and more frequently across the world, we decided to document our journey from start to finish to raise awareness and give cancer within children the exposure it deserves. We hope these videos give people a raw, detailed insight into what's involved, the treatment, the day-to-day hospital life, the emotions that come with having a child with cancer. So ladies and gentlemen, buckle up as we take you along on this whirlwind of a journey to save our son's life. And remember, live for today, as tomorrow is never promised. So if you're interested in following our journey, don't forget to like our video, subscribe to our channel and hit that notification bell so you can stick with us on this battle against cancer.
What you got, Ted? Cheese. Say thumbs up. Good boy.
It's chicken and broccoli, Teds. I get so disturbed, like what on earth is that? Chicken is good for you, gives you big strong muscles. Oh dear, should we stick with the cheese and ham sandwich, eh?
He literally keeps putting a bit of melon in his mouth, sucking it for about 10 seconds, then pulling it out, and then putting it in this little pile. This one's actually stayed in for quite long. This one actually might count, might go down. Oh, you have to chew it, mate. We are up and out nice and early this morning. My mum is in the hospital with Teddy, and we are actually going to look at our what will be new accommodation in the very near future, just to see out the rest of Teddy's treatment. But more about that in a minute.
So this is Paul's house. It is a family accommodation provided by Young Lives vs Cancer, and other families, I believe, have invested in it who've been through similar situations. It basically is I think it's about 16 bedrooms, just a little safe space for families where children are in hospital long term and they need somewhere to stay. So this will be our new home until Teddy gets to be discharged.
Well, this is Paul's house, and there'll be a full room and house tour in the upcoming videos.
You got your apple finally?
Yeah, happy?
What's that in your hand? Is it an apple? Wow, so Daddy read it. Santy Rosie and Teddy. It says, sunshine comes to all who weather the storm.
Oh, that's a good one.
And what have you got? A car! Wowee!
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, you can do cheers with Mummy.
Do cheers, Teddy.
Cheers.
Look at those results. Neutrophils up to 1.54, lymphocytes 0.44, but platelets. Another transfusion today.
Best I get this last mouthful in, because I've got some football training to take care of.
Look at Teddy's timing with his clapping hands.
If you're happy and you know it, clap your hands.
Good boy!
So this is exactly what platelets look like. This is a bag of platelets. So Teddy's actually a positive blood type, but because he's positive, it means he can have a positive or negative as well. So these are actually a negative. The job of a platelet, should I say, is to help clot the blood. So if there is any scrapes or cuts that Teddy has and led to bleeding, it would basically mean the body has the ability to stop that blood flowing and clot it, and therefore not lose too much blood. So once again, this is an absolute huge shout out and thank you to anyone that does give blood and platelets. We have started doing it recently, and it is times like this when Teddy needs platelets desperately, because his numbers today went down from 32 to 14. So he's very, very low on platelets, so therefore is very prone to bruising. If he obviously ever cut himself or anything like that, his body would struggle to clot and stop that blood from just pulsating and flowing out of his body. So this bag of platelets here is what is saving him, bringing them back up to the levels that they should be. So once again, a huge, huge, huge thank you to anyone that does donate blood. And if you don't donate blood, then seeing it in the flesh like this might give you that inspiration to potentially want to go and give blood and platelets. So give it a go, try it once. I said recently, did it like you've probably seen in one of our videos, and it's harmless. It doesn't hurt, it's not time consuming, it's just amazing to do our bit and to help save lives. So yeah, there's our platelet transfusion. It blows my mind that this is just a bag of platelets, life-saving clotting cells that somebody has sat in a chair and had absorbed and drained out of their body, out of the hemoglobin blood, and separated the platelets, and now they're in a bag in Fox Ward, room 5, going into my son. Incredible. Just comes through the line, really, really harmless to him. Literally goes into his Hickman line. No discomfort, no pain whatsoever. He doesn't even know it's going in. He will know about it if he happened to fall over or bump his head or something and cause bleeding, and the body didn't have the ability to stop the blood. That's when he would know about it. All very clever, but as I said, get out there, donate some blood and save a life. Another part of the process of our platelet transfusion, it runs over half an hour, and they have to have observations done halfway through, so 15 minutes, and then at the end, purely because he's receiving somebody else's cells, so there is a possibility of anaphylactic shocks, the spike in temperature, spikes in heart rate, in which case they would administer some sort of Piriton or antihistamine to kind of allow that process to just calm down. But yeah, so 15 minutes in after the first 15 minutes transfusion, they will come in and do a set of obs. And a set of obs would be his oxygen sats, so how much oxygen is in his blood, his temperature, and his heart rate, his pulse. Yeah, that's pretty much it. So another little bit of information of what's involved in a platelet transfusion. Welcome to the world of ketchup, Teddy. Even though it's ground eating to a halt, and he's just dipping his finger. Oh, that's a bit of a spicy one.
As moving out of the flat was getting closer, Nanny Sue came up to relieve us of our hospital duties so we could once again pack up our lives and get on the move.
The time has come. We have to pack up from the flat and move our stuff out to Paul's house, which is our next accommodation to see us through to the rest of Teddy's treatment and recovery. So yeah, onward bound and time to pack up our life again.
Once we had packed everything into boxes and suitcases, we finally managed to get out for our first evening meal out together, which in what felt like years.
Out for a little date night whilst Mum has Ted's. Cheers.
lovely dinner and full night's sleep, we are heading back to the hospital to see our little man.
Hello, Baba. Hi, look at boy. Hi. Look at boy. Yeah.
Wowee! Yeah. So today, Teddy's bloods have come back and they stopped his immune boosting drug because his neutrophils were high as they needed to be. They just wanted to boost them up so they could take the blood tests to be sent off to see how much of his cells are donor and how much are him, and we're hoping for obviously 100% donor cells. So they stopped that immune boosting drug, and it's had a real big effect on his blood. So his hemoglobin has gone from 96 to 84. His white cell count went from 2.72 to 1.80 today. His big one, which is neutrophils, are really high at 1.54. They've almost halved to 0.74 now. His lymphocytes are 0.44 down to 0.41. So yeah, everything's kind of reduced, but the doctor said that they weren't overly concerned because this is something that happens. The immune boosting drug is so good at its job, it basically doesn't create neutrophils, it just pushes them out through the body, which is why we can evidently see them when the blood tests come back. But she said it's completely normal to pull off the GCF, which is the immune booster, and then the numbers drop because it is so good at doing its job. So for us it's a little bit disheartening because for the first time we saw all his numbers drop, but fortunately, whichever way you want to look at it, it's going to happen. They are going to have these peaks and troughs and they are going to fluctuate. So we just need to know that that's normal. Just kind of keep positive and hope that they stabilise at some point. But day by day, he hopefully gets stronger. He's had a really, really upset tummy today as well, which could be the start of this GVHD. It is one of the side effects and symptoms that will present itself as and when he does get it. So it's the diarrhea, sickness, fevers, or a rash, and he has almost had like 8 nappies done in the last 4 or 5 hours, which is pretty intense, to be fair. My mum had to deal with like a bit of a fountain of poo coming across the bed and all over the floor and his toys and stuff earlier. So maybe it is the start of the GVHD, who knows, but I'm sure we will be updated, and over the next few days things will present themselves.
Thank you. You have this.
See you later, Teddy. Say bye-bye.
Thanks to Nanny Sue again, it was time for myself and Katie to head back to the flat and finish off the last bits of our packing and have another night away from the hospital. But it was almost like Teddy knew his parents had officially left the building and he could get away with murder. Cue Nanny Cam.
Good morning, we are up and out really early this morning. It's 6:30. As today It's the end of an era for us, but the start of a new chapter. We are actually moving out of our flat in London that we were staying in, and we're moving into Paul's house, which is requiring a carload of stuff that was in the flat. Moved over to Paul's house, which is obviously going from a flat to a one but single bedroom. We've had to kind of minimalise a lot of the stuff that we're actually taking with us, so Kate's parents have taken a load of stuff back. Yeah, but we move across today and start a new chapter, which will hopefully be our last bit of accommodation before we hopefully get to go home with our boys. So yeah, new chapter starts today, but for now I've got about 75 million trips to the car, so onwards and upwards.
There it was. We were finally packed up again and moving on to another stage of our journey. We are hugely grateful for Young Lives vs Cancer for helping us out with our next accommodation. There will be a lot more information about this in future videos.
And that just about rounds up this week's video here, and at the end of our time here at Westminster, where our flat was.
We will be moving into Paul's house in the next video. Oh, and remember, live for today.
As tomorrow is never promised.
Don't forget to join us back here on our next video where we enter week 6. We move into our new accommodation at Paul's house, and just as we thought things were starting to get better, Teddy unfortunately takes a seriously bad turn when the GVHD really sets in. Thank you so much for all your constant support and following our journey. Please continue to like our videos and subscribe to our channel, as we thought this journey was coming to a close, but unfortunately it is far from over.